Hello and welcome to today's class. Our topic today is understanding the times. And of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. The heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandments. 1 Chronicles chapter 12, verse 32. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 to 8. You need to know what to do, when to begin it, how to do it, and where to start it. And there is a time for everything according to the scripture that we just finished reading. There is a time to weep. You can weep in prayer. There is a time to cast away stones, that is to cast away every unwanted thing in your life. There is a time to gather stones, that there is a time to begin a new thing. There is a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. There is a time to make new friendship. There is a time to make yourself scarce, to scarce yourself. A time not to be seen too much by people. There is a time to just stay away from some people. There is a time to avoid some people, some places. There is a time to just, be yourself. There is a time to keep valuable things. And there is a time to cast away every unwanted thing in your life, in your home, in your family, around you. There is a time to cast them away. And that time is now. There is a time to keep silence. Yes. And there is a time to speak. There is a time to love what is happening in your life. And there is also a time to hate some things happening around you and to put an effort to stop it. There is a time of war and there is a time of peace. You should not be sleeping when you are supposed to be fighting for your peace. Peace will not just come. At times, you need to fight for it. There is a time to apply for a new job. There is a time to resign from your job. If you are tired of the job, you no longer feel happy, you no longer feel excited when going, you no longer care about what is happening there. In fact, your mind is no longer 100% with the organization. My dear, it's time to resign. But resign on a good note and make sure you find something else doing before you tender your resignation letter. There is a time to serve. You cannot just wake up and become a boss and become a master. There is a time to serve. There is a time to start up something, even in a small way, and that time is now. There is a time to make that call. There is a time to approach that person. There is a time to take that step, and that time is now. There is a time to learn. There is a time to unlearn. There is a time to relearn. There is time to manage. There is time to adjust. There is time to rest, but you shouldn't be resting when you are supposed to be working. Okay? There is a time. There is time for everything. There is time to say no. You should not just accept everything that is brought to you, everything that is pushed to you. You should not just feel, shy or afraid to say no. When it is not convenient for you, learn to say no. There is a time to say no. There is a time to reject some offer. There is a time to reject some things. There is a time to embrace some things. There is a time to stay away from some environments. So try to know the time, to know what to do at a particular time and how to do it and where